Good morning, everyone. It's Libby. Today is the day of Dewey's 24-hour readathon, so you guys are going to be getting a vlog of my adventures. So technically Dewey's 24-hour readathon goes from a set time, which is the same time. They're not the same o'clock in every time zone. So technically here in Central Europe, the Central European time zone, we're supposed to do 2 p.m. to 2 p.m. Saturday to Sunday. I've tried that before and I don't like it, so I'm just doing a big Saturday of reading. So right now it's about 8:30 and I've already started my reading. I'm walking around this lovely park that I've never visited before, and I'm listening to the audiobook of Middlemarch, which I think is going to take up most of my readathon. I'm reading it for Victober. I had hoped to be a little bit further along than I currently am. I'm in chapter 42. There are 86 chapters, so I'm not quite halfway. But I'm mostly listening to the audiobook, and I'm doing that on 2 times speed. Oh, we're gonna cross a bridge. Let's see if we find any birds. Hello? Okay, it looks like not. I'm mostly listening to the audiobook on 2 times speed, and if I get like 12 hours of reading done today, that's 24 hours, which I think is more than I have left in the book. So yeah, I think I can finish Middlemarch today. I have paused from Middlemarch occasionally to hop in to Wessex tales, so it's possible I may take a break from Middlemarch to listen to or read some of those, or I may, if I finish Middlemarch, then I'll move on to that. I've decided to come out of the house for a bit, one, because David is sleeping and I don't want to film and wake him up. But also I have not been out of the house in so long, and if you come out really early, there's no one around to give you coronavirus. Guys, I found some sheep. There's a whole flock of these lads and lasses enjoying the peat bog. It's like I'm getting a little taste of provincial life to go along with my study of provincial life. It has started to rain now though, and I'm about a 20-minute walk from home, so I need to start heading back. Hey guys, it is now about 11:30 in the morning, so David has finally gotten up, so I can film in the house now. In case you were worried, I did not get soaked on my walk back. It was just a very light misting. And I'm here, I made myself a cup of tea. This is ginger tea, which is pretty popular In the Netherlands, it's just like you slice up some ginger root and put it in hot water with sugar. There you go, no tea bags. I've gotten to chapter 51 of Middlemarch, so things are coming to a head. The big thing, it happened. And I'm assuming it's the big thing. So I'm sitting here with my reading buddy. Hey, Nova. Hey guys, I'm now over here in the sewing corner. You can see my dress form over there. Because it's sewing time. I finished with lunch, took a little flip through the Kyoto Costume Institute's fashion book and looked at the 1820s, 30s, and 40s to get me sort of in the mood for Middlemarch. Although everything in there is much fancier than what any of the people of Middlemarch would be wearing. And also for 1840s, because I'm about to do some work on my corded petticoat. So this is, I'm using sort of perma-starched fabric called cotton organdy. I don't think they had cotton organdy in the 1840s. I think they would be using like a cotton batiste. The broadcloth and then starching it each time. I do not have a bathtub in which to starch an entire petticoat, so I'm using this. And basically you sew lines of cord just around and around and around in order to stiffen it, which holds out your skirts, because the cage crinoline, which is made of metal, was not patented until 1856. While I am working on a element of Victorian fashion, I'm also going to be wearing an element of Victorian fashion. This is, here, I'll show you the whole thing. This is a shawl that I knit. It came out smaller than I thought it would. This project was 100% too advanced for me, and I should not have been doing it, but I did it anyway. So this is the shawl based on the pattern for a warm half-square shawl from My Knitting Book by Miss Lambert, which was published in London in 1843. If you want to make it, I'd say it is not for the inexperienced knitter, but if you're like intermediate, you should go ahead and try. It's got a lace pattern, it's got intarsia, it does not give you gauge, but for a shawl that's not so important. It also, I believe, doesn't give you needle size, and there are no pictures. So it was pretty tricky for me, given that this was my third ever thing that I knit. It was also the biggest, and I hadn't done anything besides knits and purls before this. So this is the first time I had like yarn overs, knit two togethers, to pass slip stitched over previous two stitches sort of stuff. And yeah, it's a little small, but you can still wear it sort of around the shoulders. And that's really the part that Victorian women had to keep warm, because on the torso you've got all the layers of corsetry, which is quite a good insulator. So it's really the shoulder area that gets chilly. Okay, I have now turned on my annoyingly loud converter. Let's get down to sewing a petticoat. Oh, I'm in chapter 55 of Middlemarch, and I'm going to be listening on headphones, at least while I'm filming, so that you guys don't get spoiled. It is very hard to talk about the books that you're reading during a 24-hour readathon when you're in the middle of a very long book. There's basically nothing I can say that isn't a spoiler at this point. Okay, that's enough of that because I have run out of cord. So that's as much progress on the petticoat as I'm going to be making today. So I think that means I do have one Regency thing that is hand sewn rather than machine sewn that I was working on, but in the spirit of Victober, I think I'm going to make a little start on my next Victorian hand sewing project, which is going to be a corded corset. I'm using past patterns. Number 1, View B, corded corsets. So I've laid out my fabric to make a mock-up. I'm not sure if I'll be able to pay attention enough to sew while I'm also listening, so sacrifices will maybe have to be made. In terms of actual reading progress, it is 4:30 and I am in chapter 66. Tertius is having a bad time. I don't really like his chapters. I think I don't like anyone in them. Okay, it's fully nighttime now, as you can see out the windows, which means it's 7:15. Yeah, I've got the mock-up in a cursory state. I did a real, probably not even worth it, try on. And you know, so far so good. I think I'm gonna have to make the bust scores bigger, but I expected that. But it's getting late enough that I'm starting to get dumb enough that I can't pay attention to a novel and sew things without, you know, sewing my thumb into something. So yeah, I'm gonna focus on the book, but I'm gonna get a little bit of assistance from mulled wine, which I am about to go make. Yeah, and then, let's see, I'm in chapter 78. We're really closing in on the end. We got 8 chapters left. Actually, I think there's a finale, so I think I actually have 9 chapters left. Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna do it. I'm extremely pleased. And here we are. The lighting is terrible, so it just looks black. Oh yeah. Guys, the secret to food is to just add a bunch of sugar and nutmeg to it. Like, whatever it is, just make it mostly sugar and nutmeg. Now, this is maybe gonna be my last check-in. I might do one more. I think it's possible that I will be lying in bed for the end of this book, because I've still got like 2 hours to go, and I go to bed early, especially with the wine. I go to bed early. I'm not going to cover my final thoughts on Middlemarch in this video. I'm going to save that for my Victober wrap-up, because you gotta. So if I don't plug back in, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you later.